Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That is to say, in the name of Yahweh's only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. Here we go. Here we go. This is from an alternative news website, and it reads the headline: WEF says CBDCs must be implanted under your skin if you want to participate in society. And by now, if you don't know, everybody and their mama know by now. It's just it's just you refuse to accept it. This is what is spoken of in Revelation, the 13th chapter. And we're gonna go ahead and get that later on. But this is that device that's gonna be implanted underneath your skin in order to conduct business in this society. You see? So let's read a little bit in this article and see what it says. It says the WEF has declared that all citizens must be implanted with a CBDC. What it says, the micro, in the very near future, in order to be able to fully participate in society and do basic things such as purchase food and water. So you're gonna need this device, this implant, in order to conduct, the basic needs, to conduct your basic, wants, your needs. You're gonna need this device because there's no place you're gonna go that's gonna be able to accept anything else but that. And I hear a lot of people talking about buying gold and silver, but that's not gonna hedge against what's coming down the pipe, because even though that gold and that silver at one point in time or maybe in the future is gonna be worth more than that dollar, how are you gonna cash in to get the value of that gold and silver? You're gonna have to transfer your gold and silver to the currency that's out and about, and it's gonna be that mark. So one way or another, you're gonna have to receive that mark, because you can't go to the store and break off a piece of gold and give it to the cashier. They're gonna look at you like you lost your mind, man. And let's say you have a little community and you put together a few odds and ends, and you want to trade amongst each other. Who's gonna set the price of how much this is worth and how much that is worth? It doesn't make any sense. Gold and silver, people telling you that is just for them to sell you something. They selling you a pipe dream. That ain't gonna be able to deliver you in the time of trouble. You see? So everybody gonna have to take this implant under their skin if you want to conduct, the basic business and to do basic things, like it says, such as to purchase food and water. That's your essentials. You gonna need that. You ain't gonna be, if you got solar panels on your roof, what good is it to have solar panels on your roof if you can't pay your mortgage and your taxes and your stuff like that? What you gonna need to have that, that implant, that mark underneath your skin. Everything is gonna revolve around this mark one way or another. You can't get around it. You're not gonna be able to outsmart prophecy. That's just the end of that. It's gonna come down to you going down and receiving that mark. And it tells you, woe to them that go to Egypt for help. Isaiah 31st, first chapter. The first verse. So you're gonna need this mark if you're gonna operate in this man's kingdom and to get the basic necessities that he has for you: food and water, clothing, and etc. And there's a pending judgment that's coming for you that take that. And you're gonna get that judgment if you take it. Here in America, you're gonna be burned to smithereens. You're gonna disintegrate from that heat, from the nuclear missiles that's coming for judgment. And for you ones that's outside of America, you're going to get judgment as well. You're not going to be able to escape prophecy. So it says, according to Professor Richard Werner, in the very near future, citizens will need to use the latest technology, such as a CBDC implant, in order to access their bank accounts. And you seeing with these bank runs and these, bank failures, that they trying to tell you that your money ain't safe in the bank, And that's why they getting ready to roll out something called the Fed now, because it's going to be able to what? Protect your assets. It's going to be backed by the Fed. Because at any moment, this whole thing could fall. It could crash, And with the works that the BRICS are putting into place right now, that's an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They looking to make a more better currency that could rival the U.S. dollar, the petrodollar, which is backed by oil. They looking to rival it and have their currency be backed by gold and silver, something tangible that you can hold and see. As far as this fiat currency, which is basically an IOU, they looking to rival this. You see. And that's what they're getting ready to have a summit to discuss and go over. But at what cost? Because it's going to be a war over this. The U.S. is backed by what? Its military. Whereas this BRIC alliance wants to be backed by what? Gold and silver. So they got to up their military game to get in line with the U.S. military game, which ain't going to be too hard, because the way the U.S. military is going right now, with this woke agenda, this, weak military, it ain't going to be hard, man. Because you got the alphabet crew that can join the military. You putting them on the front line, these other militaries are going to walk right through them, man. This is all by design, because America must fall. This is Babylon. So it says, let's go back and read this article. So it says, Professor Richard A. Werner is an economist and professor of banking and finance. He is known as the proponent of the new post-crisis monetary policy he called quantitative easing, which he proposed in Japan in 1995 as chief economist of a British investment bank. So this man is responsible for quantitative easing, when they lower the rates, to fight inflation and interest. And quantitative tightening is when they do the opposite. They raise the rates. That's how the dollar is able to, be worth something. When they tighten the interest rates and they raise the rates, then the dollar is worth, its weight in whatever currency it is. But when they lower the rates, the quantitative easing, then the dollar isn't worth anything. But this whole act is coming to an end, man. They finna get ready to roll this thing out, this mark, this implant. Because they about to crash this dollar, because this dollar, once this dollar collapse, it's going to affect the whole global economy. That's what's going to bring in the reset. And BRICS is going to be part of this. That's going to rival this reset. That's going to rival this dollar. Where they're going to have to get on board with this CBDC, this central bank digital currency, and its infrastructure, blockchain technology, where you could track everything. See, this thing going to be programmable once it gets at its peak. They're going to be able to program money in and out of your bank account, depending on, your social credit score. That's what all this ESG and nonsense is about. It's to put in the infrastructure, of businesses and companies who don't go along with the program. They get a bad ESG. That's like a credit score. I believe it's environmental, social government. It's a credit score for the corporations. They get a bad credit score, and they can easily roll that over to the consumers, to the people, and put them under a social credit score like China doing its people. So now if you talk bad about the government, you know, you're going to get a low credit score, and now you're not going to have what? The rights to buy certain things for a period of time, however long they see fit for that punishment. All right? So let's just look for a little bit more and see what we can extract out of this article. It's one part I've seen that I want to read. I think it's coming up. Okay, here it goes. It reads, the true reason I think why they wanted this inflation, because that is to cover up essentially the disintegration of the petrodollar and move to the new system, which they want to be CBDC based. See, they want to take this petrodollar and demolish it, because for the longest, the dollar has been the world reserve currency. All these other countries, in one way or another, you know, buys with the U.S. dollar. They buy and sell and trade with the U.S. dollar, which is supposed to be backed by oil. But now you got the Saudis and and whatnot. They trying to, and I believe Iran or Iraq, they trying to remove themselves from the petrodollar. You know, they looking to move to that BRICS currency, man, which is backed by actual tangible assets, gold and silver. See, this dollar, man, this dollar is backed by the fact of, you know, I'm gonna pay you back. It's like an I owe you note, a promissory note. But the real strength that it's backed by is the military. And the world is seeing that this military is not like it was in its heydays, man. The world can see just how bad this place is going, man. And it's circling in the drain. So they figuring this is the best time to make their move. You know, this dollar ain't like it was, man. This military isn't what it once was. You know? But this is all part of prophecy. So it says the true reason I think why they wanted this inflation, because that is to cover up, essentially, the disintegration of the petrodollar and move to the new system, which they want to be CBDC based. At the moment, there's talk about CBDCs being used via phone-based apps. Yes, this is the initial phase. And that's what I surmised in one of my videos. I said they're gonna come out with, you know, to make it more palatable for the people, to let you start off with it being on an app, you know, because they don't want to scare the people and come right off the bat and be like, okay, you got to get this in your hand. No, they want to ease you into it gradually. So what better way to ease somebody into it by using something they already have and familiar with than a cell phone? Because some people feel naked when they don't have their cell phone. They leave out the house and they get down the road, you know, they turn back around and come get that cell phone. They make that cell phone become a part of you. So what better way to introduce the next phase than to use the old phase, which is the cell phone? So let's read. At the moment, there's talk about the CBDCs being used via phone-based apps. Yes, that is the initial phase. But what was already ready around 2015 is the ultimate goal, what they really want. Apparently, I was told by a central banker, and this is Richard Warner speaking, I was told by a central banker, and CBDC looks like a small grain of rice. You see? And that's that device that they're going to implant under your skin, that they want to put under your skin, which is, my view, a violation of human dignity. And they realize there is a hurdle to get people to accept this. Professor Warner said, yeah, they realize it's a hurdle. They gonna not so much do all they can to, help ease your worries, because eventually it's gonna come down to whether or not you want to eat, and like we read in the beginning of the article, get the basic needs, the basic essentials. So they know that's gonna play a major role too, but they gonna try to do as much quality control as they can, and keep this thing as, much from getting out of hand as it can. But eventually everybody gonna, say that with this, man, it's gonna be it's gonna be what the Bible calls Jacob's trouble, man. It's gonna be all out, crazy out here. So it says, so they're using crisis, disruption, and unemployment to introduce universal basic income to soften the public up to accepting a CBDC chip implanted under their skin. So the same way when they rolled out the juice and they gave incentives to come down and get it, cookies, money, little gift cards here and there, they're gonna do the same thing with this. They're gonna give you a wage, money, which is universal basic income, so you can pay off your rent and whatever, and have the basic needs to get you hooked on that. Because the inflation, the interest is gonna be so high that you're gonna need that extra help. So they're gonna say, okay, just come down, use this on your app, and then, link it up with your bank account, because at that point in time, this Fed now is looking to replace what? Zelle, Venmo, Cash App. So you're going to have that Fed Now app. And eventually they're going to come into opposition because everybody ain't going to have a phone. So that's when they're going to roll it out. They're going to say you don't need a phone anymore. We have an implant that you could put under your skin, and now you connect it, which is why they have all these towers scattered throughout, the cities and the countryside. So now you picking up what you once was on your phone, now you have it in that device underneath your skin. So now you part of the system, you part of the beast system. Okay? So it says they're using crisis, disruption, and unemployment to introduce universal basic income to soften the public up to accepting a CBDC implant under their skin. So eventually, after they recalibrated and get everything situated, in order for you to keep that revenue coming in, you're gonna have to get that implant. You're gonna need it, because that's the only way you're gonna buy and sell. Like I said, we're gonna read that. So it says, for example, this is what he used. He says you will get 2,000 euros into your account every month, but of course, to run this efficiently, they'll say we need to use the latest technology. So you need the CBDC implant, and you're gonna have to get the upgrades too. Just like with the upgrades that they were saying, come get your third and fourth, dose of the juice. You're gonna have to get these upgrades. So let's go ahead and read this in Revelation to close out. All right, this is Revelation 13 and 16, and it reads, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell the basic needs, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. So you can't get around this. If you don't have faith and you don't believe, and you go down there and you get that mark, that's it for you. Because you're going to need it. You can't survive in this man's world without taking his mark. But if you take it, there's a judgment. And let's go read what that is in the next chapter over. This is Revelation 14. And let's start at verse number 9. And it starts off with doom for worshipers of the beast. Verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that's you getting that judgment when the nukes come over here and those missiles come over here and they destroy this place, which is America, Babylon the Great. You're going to drink that same cup. You know? There ain't no getting back once you receive that mark in your right hand or in your forehead. That's it for you. You finish. Ain't no letting me take this out. I done thought about it. Now I got second. No, once you receive it, that's it. You done put this man inside your body. That's it. That's it for you. You just got to go ahead and get this cup. Drink this cup. You know? And brimstone, fire. You know, so this is, you know, you being warned, you being told ahead of time, so when that day come, you'll be prepared, you know, so you won't fall into them snares and into them traps. You know, so let's read in 1 Peter, let's close out. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And if you not knowing what's going on, or if you refuse to accept what's going on and you don't think it's anything that you need to be worried about, then you're going to be fair game for this devil to devour you, man. One way or another, he going to get you. Because eventually, without this word, everyone will crack under that pressure. And the ones that somehow seem like they're going to make it out, they have a part in prophecy too, because they're going to be bought and caught into slavery. But here in America, you're going to be disintegrated. Once the missiles come and hit this place and set everything on fire, it's going to be like a lake of fire. Everything is going to be, this place is going to be a desert. No life is going to be here except for the dragons and the beasts. You know? So don't let this man get you to buy into his philosophy, his wine, and have you drunk, and now you can't see straight and you're not sober anymore because you wanted to go down and receive his mark to continue to live inside his kingdom and society, which is on his way out. It's prophesied in Daniel that this is the last kingdom. And then the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be eternal, is up next. That's Jacob, Israel, the 12 tribes, the so-called black, Latino, and Native American, and then the ones of us who scattered that look like the other nations, but through the patrilineal lineage go back to Israel through the father. So don't let this man get you to go down and make a mistake that you can't bounce back from. Because once you take this is going to be that L you can't bounce back. Like Big Sean say, last night I took an L, you ain't going to bounce back after this L. That's going to be it. That's going to be yours, man. So this man get you to buy into his philosophy and drink his cup of wine, you're going to drink that same cup of wrath once you take that, you know? So hopefully somebody got something from this. If it be the Lord's will, till next time, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.